All right, let's continue on here. So if you'll notice my very crude marker here, this marks the beginning of the siding here at Griff. So again, the Grand Trunk Pacific liked to use an alphabetical pattern for the naming of its station. And so obviously this is the G station, being Griff, the one to the east being Flet, and the one to the west being Horn. Okay, so basically you can see the siding here beside us. I'm going to talk a little bit more about sort of the situation here with this station and this siding when we get up to where I believe the actual station was located. So this line was very interesting in the sense that they went to the trouble of actually building stations at pretty much, like actual station buildings at pretty much every station, which was unusual because literally there's nobody here. And I'll talk about that momentarily once we get just right up here, so you can kind of see this open area. This is where it's kind of marked on the maps, which I will show you, and then we'll talk a little bit more about sort of what was the situation here. Okay, so let's hold up. Let me grab my cheater notes. It's nice too because I can catch my breath. How much? Holy cow. 21.65 kilometers. We done lots of biking. Oh, Luna, hopefully you're not rolling anything. Okay, let's get the notes out. Have to use the notes because I can't remember everything. Okay, so again, Griff was original station. On the line, it was located at milepost 45.7 and then eventually 16.7 on the Graham subdivision. It was home to a Grand Trunk Pacific Type E station that was constructed in 1911. And then it basically 50 years later in 1961, the station was sold. Not sure what became of it, but I'm guessing somewhere in this area here was where the station was. The siding was taken out of use in 1970. And then it was sort of resurrected in 1981, not as a full siding, but basically as a spur. And so what happened in 1981 was they were going to, and they did this with a nearby rail line as well, the Kinghorn. They basically reballasted the line, and so they basically resurrected several of the sidings to use as spurs for that. So it was known as Spur GR7. And was in use until 1984. Griff was taken, so in 1973, there was a big sort of rationalization. There was a whole bunch of stations that were dropped. So Griff was removed as a station, but it was resurrected in 1986. And obviously without the station. And I believe Griff stayed a station on the line until the line was abandoned. So again, somewhere in here was the station building, because really it's the only sort of flat area around here. You know, like you're going to see it's a swamp there, and you're going to see it's swamp on the other side. So there's nowhere else that you could potentially have a building itself. There's a piece of culvert there. One of the things I'm looking for is oftentimes with the stations where you'll see culverts that they used for the they put culverts in the ground for wells. Now again, partridge. This station has been gone for a long time, so who knows what is still kind of lurking around here. Again, just seems sort of strange. Did I write that down? Yes, so I forgot to mention, I have a handwritten note on here. Let me get that note back out here. So actually, I made a point of looking at the census records to see like if it actually showed people here. And so in the 1911 census, it actually shows people at Griff Station. So there was 22 people. I wrote down 22 plus 50. I'm not sure where I wrote that down, but basically, so like over 70 people in this area. And it's interesting because when you look at the census records, it tells you basically where the people originated from. And so a lot of them were from Galicia, which is located in which is located in Eastern Europe. So again, kind of neat to see this. I'm guessing these are kind of remnants from logging that sort of happened here. So I don't really see much of anything kind of lurking around here. Thought maybe we would see remnants of a foundation or, you know, that piece of well, but don't really see much of anything. Again, assuming the station was right here. I just gotta be careful. Looks like there's a big hole there. I try not to kill myself. Yeah, and then you get into a rock cut here, and on the other side of the rock cut you get into kind of a swamp, right? So, you know, I can't imagine that there's too much around here. You can see that there's a little eye bolt here that's been driven into the rock. I'm guessing that's a support for a telegraph pole. Wouldn't imagine the station's up on the top of the rock cut here. Only other spot it could be is maybe over here. Okay, let's hold up here momentarily. I gotta do a battery change and we'll continue working our way west. All right, let's get rolling again here. We'll just take a little bit of a look over here on the other side of this rock cut. So again, the siding's beside us here. Turned out to be a pretty good day for recording here. A little bit dark, but is what it is, as the saying goes. Better than the misting that we had 2 weeks ago. And yeah, again, it's all kind of rocky in through here. And then here it gets kind of low. What did you hear, Lynn? You're all kind of spooked out. Yeah, it's all low in here, so that had to be the location right there. Okay, so we're gonna get into a very long straight stretch. You can basically see it going way ahead here. I don't know how long this straight stretch is. If I think of it while I'm doing the video, I'll flash up the length. It's a pretty long straight stretch here. On the other side of Raith, so basically next station is Horn, after that is Raith, and then Linko, So once we hit Raith, things really start to straighten out because you start getting into some really swampy kind of areas, and the railway grade's pretty straight there for a long time, like literally miles and miles. This is not a huge kind of straight section. I don't know if you can see it. There's a bit of an incline to the grade. Okay, let's maybe zoom you ahead a little bit here. Just enjoy the beautiful view here with all these tamaracks and all the needles on the ground, and makes a very pretty makes for a very pretty route here. So we're still here in the siding at Griff, so you can see the siding beside us here. Again, very pretty section here with all of these tamaracks. And so right up here, I think, is the end of the siding. I think this is what I measured on the map. Kind of looks like it kind of starts to peter out here. It's really hard to tell. Okay, let's hold up here for a second, and then we'll continue working our way west.